Okay, I wanted to do a video about reloading and the benefits of it. The company that I am using right now is Dardas cast bullets, and they're currently made in Essexville, Michigan, which is close to my house, and I prefer to buy things within the state. I have placed a couple of orders with them, and they make some very high quality stuff and not too expensive. You know, cost is a relative thing. Compared to loaded ammo, my reloads are vastly less expensive. Okay, and I'll get into that later in this video. This is the 150 grain lead semi-wad cutter. This is a 200 grain lead semi-wad cutter. Do those side by side. Okay. And I only have a loaded one, but there is the 185 grain lead semi-wad cutter. I've had some good results with the 185 grain, and I'll show you the targets in a little bit. The 150 doesn't seem to have as much of a skirt on it here, so it doesn't seem to shoot as accurately in the guns. The 200 grain works pretty well. It's not the most accurate in my gun, but it works fairly well. In my last order, I also did get some 38 special lead semi-wad cutters, and I'll show you the targets now. Okay, so one of the most interesting targets to me is going to be this one right here. Shot that a little while ago. Okay, over here we've got 15 shots of the Hornady custom 158 grain jacketed hollow point defense loads. And there's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, and 15. Okay, so a pretty broad size target. These shots were at about 30 feet freehand from a 2-inch or an 1 7/8 J-frame. Now over here are the lead semi-wad cutters, 158 grain as well, and again we've got 10 shots over here in a pretty tight group. Neither of these was aiming at the center of the target. Okay, this group over here was aiming at the 7, and this group over here was aiming at a dot that I had placed here. Okay. Here is another target at 25 feet, 20 shots. There's a flyer here and there. But again, this is out of my J-frame revolver, and keeping most of them right there in the black, and pretty well in the black as well. Okay, so making some fairly accurate ammunition. The same thing goes here. It's 15 rounds, 2 flyers, at about 30 feet offhand. This group here is using my 185 grain lead semi-wad cutters from Dardas, and you can see 8 of the 10 are touching, basically right in here. Then you've got 2 small flyers. The main group is about 1 1/4 inch, 1.5 inches, and that's 25 yards from a rest. Now let's look at this is the accuracy that you can get from hand-loaded ammunition. Let's take a look at how cheap it is. So let's take a look at what the actual cost advantages are. This is for the 200 grain lead semi-wad cutter 45 ACP. We're going to do it per 500 because that's what I ordered from them last time. The bullets ended up costing $38.50 total with shipping and everything. The primers I bought locally, and those ended up being $17.50 again per 500. The powder that I use is Clay's, and it's used in several other calibers and cartridges, so 4 pounds of it will last me a long time, and it's pretty cheap. Okay, so for $50, so for $58.18, I can load 500 rounds. Okay, minus the brass. That's the only cost that is not included, because that's assuming that I'm reusing brass. Okay, so not only do you get the savings here, but you also get the accuracy increase. Again, I'm using Dardas, love them, and they're accurate and very, very consistent. And if you're in the Michigan area, it's not a bad idea to support Michigan made products.